Back with the Bankrupt Bookseller and another American chapter. I have more to tell about Americans. The Americans are coming into the book trade, and I don't mind at all. I like the American books better than the Americans who come into my shop, yet they are not a bad folk after all. They don't know about us any more than we know about them. Last week I had one who told his story. He had made a fortune apparently and had come over to Europe and Asia for a year. He wore those silly clothes that Americans wear in fond imitation, I imagine, of the English. He had a light woolen suit, a fine gray texture, a baggy knickerbocker type, and a soft collar with a bow tie, a round hat, and the glasses, which are the nautical badge. He was taking a holiday and had made up his mind when he left to travel light. He had brought no books, nor had he bought any. He read the papers exclusively, and he wanted to get back to America in a more intimate way than the New York Herald could convey him. I want a good American book, he says. So I bustle about and showed him Edna Ferber's The Showboat and White Fang and John Barleycorn, old editions by Jack London. He pursed his lips closely and laid them down, each saying, "Phew," making a word by expelling the air through his lips. I got him Washington Irving and Nathaniel Hawthorne's Scarlet Letter. They awoke the identical emotion that Miss Ferber and Mr. London had done. I went over a lot of the names, calling them out from behind my counter as I read them from the backs of the books themselves. Hergesmeyer, no answer. Upton Sinclair, silence. Sinclair Lewis, read 'em all. Van Vechten, silence. Henry James, silence. H.L. Mencken, nope. O. Henry, let me see it. I got it down. The new omnibus by Associated Book Buyers. He took hold of it and sat down. I was away and about attending to others for a good half hour. I didn't disturb him. He seemed happy when I got time. He had decided to buy it. This is my homeland, he said. This is America, and what's more, literature. He paid up his 15 shillings and sixpence. For once I was apt and ready. I remembered my O. Henry biography and fetched it out. My copy is a remainder and partially discolored with water, but I sold it to him at full price. He was a Virginian and hadn't heard of Professor C. Alphonso Smith, who wrote O. Henry, a biography, which was rather surprising to me. He was very pleased to note I wasn't pleased at all that both books were printed in America, though published in England. I did him a good turn. He told me O. Henry would cure nostalgia or send him back again for the only real cure to his hometown. O. Henry to me is the biggest thing the United States has done in literature. I think his Gift of the Magi is one of the finest short stories I know. It and Kipling's Without Benefit of Clergy share an equal place, but I like O. Henry better than I like Rudyard Kipling. I know that Mr. Kipling is a better citizen, but O. Henry would be a near friend to me. There would be another O. Henry. O. Henrys are not born of commercial success and wrong greatness or world greatness. O. Henry comes from despair and defeat from defeat and from beauty that shines out from the gutter and the mud. Alphonso Smith's book is quite good, but it is worth gold for the little vignette of the last hours of the hero. Writing good things down is good for me. I will write it down. Quote, there was no pain now, and just before sunrise he said with a smile to those about him, turn up the lights. I do not want to go home in the dark. He died as he had lived. His last words touched with new beauty and with new hope the refrain of a concert hall song, the catchword of the street, and the jest of the department store. Alphonso Smith adds, he did not go home in the dark. The sunlight was upon his face, and he passed the illuminaries still his name and fame. And he Alfonso Smith adds, he did not go home in the dark. The sunlight was upon his face when he passed and illuminates still his name and fame. He touched with new beauty common things. That's a good epitaph for a great writer, and Americans may yet come to a time when they will be more proud of the fact that they produced in Ohio one who called himself O. Henry than of any of their worldwide commerce with every land. After O. Henry, there isn't much for me. I've named some of the writers who are representative on my shelves. There are others, but they are not books which lonely homesick tourists would take to exactly. Yet they are good. Henry Harving Robinson's Their Ideal of Civilization, published by Harper and Company, has given me lots of pleasure. I rushed through the reading of it just after it came into my stock, in case it should be sold. It hasn't gone yet, and I turn its serious pages in serious moods sometimes. The same writer has written The Mind in the Making, but I sold it before I read it. H.G. Wells recommends it, and I must get another copy. The Traveler's Library, which Jonathan Cate published, has 3 good American books in it, which I have sold to less distinctive Yankees. Again, that I have sold to less distinctive Yankees than the one who was here this afternoon. They are Selected Prejudices by H.L. Mencken, Can Such Things Be by Ambrose Bierce, and Arthur Mason's The Wide Sea and Many Lands. The last comes nearest to my bosom, but all are worthy of their place in a good and most saleable series of books. A brilliant yellow and black. I have another of Mencken's, a 4th edition, which I sold, which I got hold of cheap. I see on the jacket the English Review has a welcome for the American. I don't know. We have iconoclasts enough without importing them. The book, like all the others, is printed in America. I wouldn't forbid it. A people who get their printing done abroad are in a fair way to getting their thinking done there too. These things should not be quite definitely. I am a narrow nationalist. I would rather that things were done badly by our own people than done well by others. We learn by doing things ill. We despair by seeing things done so well that we can never hope to equal them. I would protect the right of all peoples to retain poor things, but albeit their own. One of one's own can something better come. There is no hope for the gaping mouth, the accepting mind, the idle hands, and the perceptive laugh. Poor barbaric peoples are not allowed to learn the road to better things. We dump the finished product on them. We offer them a shortcut, which they accept, but they cut out to all the valuable and the beautiful experiences which would have been rivers and then taken to the rough road to their on their own. I am in the sense a protectionist. Poking around, I discovered another American book worth mentioning of my, if only as a curiosity. It is dated 1899. And is a volume 5 of Albert Hubbard's Little Journeys. Its full title is Little Journeys to the Homes of Eminent Painters. Albert Hubbard went down on the Titanic and was a loss to America and a loss to letters. He made American men businessmen listen, and how much American idealism owes to Albert Hubbard it would be difficult to assess. There is a good deal of Hubbard in the rotary movement, for all its somewhat ridiculous emblem of a cogwheel. It is little than I know about engineering, but a cogwheel which cogs into nothing is not up to much that is useful. It may turn, but it will only turn itself. yet the single cogwheel is the symbol of Rotary. I would have that three cogwheels. I would have had three cogwheels, and with them all cogged into one another, and America, having largely, like the rest of us, given up God, might have made a new trinity. I must write to Vivian Carter about this, that astonishing man who at one time edited The Bystander and now runs with the Rotarians. The Star-Spangled Banner by Beverly Nichols, but it isn't an American book. I put it down on the counter again. That will do for American books, Rotary and O. Henry tonight, but the greatest of these is O. Henry.